Assalamu alaikum. Welcome in program debate. I am your host Tariq Khan. Today we will analyze and explore the role of Pakistan on war on terror, especially in the context of Afghanistan, as well as the cooperation with United States of America and implication for the region. It is honor for me to introduce Major General retired Nadeem Ijaz. You are the former Director General Military Intelligence and have been remained on important positions to deal strategic security, military and intelligence issues. Sir, thank you so much for joining and you are most welcome in program. Sir, do you think that this war on terror that has been since 2 decades will end to the war on terrorism seen in the future? What is
Tariq,
your analysis?
the war on terror in the near future or in the foreseeable future is not going to end. As we have seen, the war which started after 9/11, and it's basically been now 2 decades now, has expanded from Afghanistan to Iraq, from Iraq to Syria. Iran has already been roped into it. It has crossed across over into Yemen also. The war is being fought in Africa also. So it's an ongoing war and it is still continuing. How it is going to wind down is a big question mark. The Taliban and the Afghan government's deal with the US is pushing through. Let's see with the new administration how it goes now. And still, these talks, will they bring the violence down in the region, especially in Afghanistan? So the war on terror for some time is not going to end. It's going to continue.
Sir, how do you view global response on war on terrorism? Is this response Western or it's allies driven, or
Tariq, this
and
question has
what
three
is your
facets.
views on China and
The first
Russia?
facet is the overall global response to the war on terror. Then the response, is it only of West and the allies? And then what is the view of China and Russia on this? Now, when we come to the response globally on the war on terror, it was a very robust response which came in. Alliances were built. NATO and many countries sent troops to Afghanistan to support the US forces. The UN took center stage and passed many resolutions, out of which resolution 1267 about terrorism was the most important. Then terrorist entities were sanctioned worldwide. All international loopholes were tightened against terrorist financing, which was through FATF. Harboring of terrorist entities became a very major issue, and no country could do it without facing international censor and sanctions. And furthermore, cyber laws were strengthened, and the realization about radicalism and extremism became worldwide. Now, this was a robust global response. Now, is this response only West and the allies driven? Yes, I would feel basically so, because the war on terror started off from the 9/11 attacks, and that is from where coalitions were built up. The US became the leading force. The US allies, basically the EU countries, joined along with it, and Afghanistan was occupied and is still with a lot of troops still over there of NATO and US in the country. So basically, yes, the war on terror was driven by the West, that is basically the US and its allies. Now, what is the view of China and Russia? There is a change in the regional environment. First of all, China, which had kept its hands off Afghanistan for quite some time, now with this new Belt Road Initiative which is coming in, the CPEC which is ongoing, has decided to play a major role in Afghanistan. It has started making contacts with the Afghan government. It is in touch with the Taliban, and being a neighboring country to Afghanistan, I think now China will play a major role over there, and which will be a good stabilization role over there. Russia, which always felt Afghanistan was in its orbit since it lost it in 1989, is now coming back, and it also is going to play a role over there, along with the Central Asian countries, which basically were Soviet republics before they broke away from it. So both China and Russia will play another role also.
Sir, can Pakistan distance itself from the war on terrorism outside its border?
Tariq, Pakistan cannot distance itself from the war on terror. This war on terror is part and parcel of whatever is going on in the region, and Pakistan is very, very deeply affected because our western borders, 2,680 kilometers of it, along with Afghanistan, uh, are with a country which is at present in turmoil. It has terrorist entities which hit Pakistan with support of some people from the within Afghanistan, and then some from the east, that is our neighboring country, India. So we will not be able to distance ourselves from whatever is happening there because it affects us. Regarding Balochistan, we have already seen that the terrorist activities which are happening in Balochistan are external driven. We recently had the Indian spy who was arrested and whose trial is still on, and that clearly indicated an Indian hand in it. We have been also telling the world that the Afghan NDS has been interfering in our area, and they have been supporting those elements who have been creating unrest in Balochistan. And now, more so, because CPEC, which is emerging over there, and with the building up of Gwadar port, the many regional powers are not happy with that, and they are trying to create turmoil for us over there. Karachi has been in a turmoil for now nearly decades, and recently, in the past couple of years, Pakistan has taken a very robust action in Karachi, and the terrorist elements over there have been curtailed to a lot of extent, if not completely, but to a very large extent. Therefore, all of this is amalgamated together. What happens on our eastern and western borders, basically western borders is affecting us, where the terrorists try to step in and they move into the other areas of Pakistan. So there's going to be no distancing for us. We have to face it head on.
Do you think that Pakistan can ensure that Taliban and intra-want peace talks remain on its track? What is your analysis?
Correct. Pakistan has played the major role to facilitate these peace talks. Without Pakistan's aid, the talks in Doha would never have started. Pakistan has been saying since 2007, once the Taliban were facing a problem on the battlefield, that now is the time to talk to them. The US, in its arrogance, never listened to us. We told them throughout that this war in Afghanistan has to end with political dialogue. The US thought that they will end the war militarily. History has always proved that you cannot end insurgencies like this through military options only. So Pakistan has now been proved right, and finally the Pakistan had to be asked by the US to help them in bringing the Afghan people, that is the Afghan government and the Taliban, to some common meeting ground. But Pakistan can only do so much. The talks have to be between the Afghans themselves, that is the Taliban, and the rest of the Afghan people, that is the Afghan government, and the other elements who are not in the government also. So the realization should be that if the talks do not succeed, and if there is a change because of the Biden administration in the way the Americans look at it, Pakistan is not going to be responsible for it. Pakistan has brought everybody together. Now it is up to the Afghans themselves to proceed further with the talks.
Sir, as you know, India has always spoiled and contaminated the Pakistan's soft image over the international stage. And how do you see India's role in on war on terrorism in this region?
Indian role in war on terror has been very odd. Basically, they have looked at this war on terror as something through which they can increase their regional hegemony. Instead of trying to bring peace in this area, the Indians have actually acted like spoilers. They have been coercing the elements in Afghanistan and basically the elements of NDS to take a very strong anti-Pakistan stand throughout. They have tried to, in a lot of manners, tried to tell a lot of people that it is better that you remain hostile to Pakistan, whereas Pakistan has looked after the Afghan refugees, it has helped the Afghans so much since 1979. The Indian role definitely has not been beneficial. And in the future talks between the Taliban and the Afghan government, also the Indians need to be kept away. The Americans need to understand this. There is no neutrality where the Indians are concerned. They will try to do everything to create an anti-Pakistan Afghanistan, which is not good for the region. So therefore, India is looking after its own interests. Those are very narrow interests. It has a big problem in Kashmir. It is trying to ward the things from there and trying to push it towards Afghanistan and other places. That's not going to work. So India has to be kept out of Afghanistan, and it is for the benefit of everybody.
Sir, will the Biden administration takes a new look at war on terror and change its fundamental direction away from Afghanistan? And what is the role of Iran in war on terrorism? What is your analysis?
Tariq, first of all, the fundamental direction that the Trump administration has taken will not change. The Americans have to exit Afghanistan. How they do it is something which now needs to be seen. Yesterday, in fact, Biden's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, has given a statement that they are going to take a new look at the Taliban-Afghan talks. They feel that the violence has not been reduced, that the Taliban are responsible for it, whereas there is a big question mark on it. In Afghanistan, there is now ISIS, which is backed by the spoilers. The spoilers are those who don't want any peace in Afghanistan, and they will try to ratchet up the violence in the country and try to blame the Taliban for it. The Taliban are now interested that the new US administration, that is of President Biden, should continue with the talks that have been there. And the issue is going to be the withdrawal of forces by May. I don't see a major complete withdrawal by end of May because of the circumstances, but now the Biden administration will have to decide what it needs to do. But fundamentally, they will try to keep the talks going and an exit from Afghanistan in a time frame that the new administration feels is better for them and for the region. They will try to do that. Iran originally did not figure out in the war on terror because the war was basically in Afghanistan, and the Taliban and the Iranians did not see eye to eye. In fact, the Iranians were against the Taliban. That is why initially, when the Taliban were removed also, Iran was on the sidelines. People should remember that about 11 Iranian diplomats were killed by the Taliban before their government had been removed. So Iranians weren't happy with the Taliban at all. And there was a big religious element in it. Taliban are very die-hard Sunnis, Iranians being die-hard Shias. There was this issue also. But now the Iranians are making up with the Taliban. They know that in any future dispensation, the Taliban are going to come into Afghanistan, so the Iranians will have to work with them. And that process has started. So I think now the Iranian role has come in, and now when the war on terror has come on to a dialogue aspect, the Iranian role is now their role. Pakistan's image is improving. I think over the past few years, Pakistan has taken very good steps internally also and externally also. Externally, Pakistan has now is being looked at as a country which has tried to bring peace in the region. Pakistan is on good terms with all the countries in the region except India, which is a different issue. We have a big problem with India, and that is going to remain for some time till the Indians also realize that they need to talk to us. And Kashmir is an issue which needs to be solved. Till that is not solved, we will have problems with India. Pakistan externally has good relations all round. The Americans are looking at Pakistan with a new lens. We are trying to tell the Americans that they should not look at us only through Afghanistan. They should see Pakistan in a very different role also. We have a very good relationship with China. We have a very good relationship with Russia. So Pakistan externally is doing very well. The hiccups that we had in the Middle East are also being smoothed over. These things happen in foreign policy, and I think Pakistan is moving. And Pakistan is a very important country globally in a lot of aspects. It's a nuclear power, so we cannot be ignored. Internally, I think Pakistan has its issues, as all countries have. Internal politics are there. But as long as internal politics realize what are the main fundamentals in which I think all political parties of Pakistan are in unison, how we should be going forward. So I think we are doing okay.
Sir, thank you so much for your time and sharing your valuable thoughts. And thank you so much again.
Thank you, Tariq.